Okay, let's take a look at the function and the features of this Hoffman Controls refrigeration product, the 759. The 759 utilizes 4 temperature sensors for utmost accuracy. Some of our competitors in the marketplace utilize 2 temperature sensors, do 2-speed motors. We feel that 2 sensors are inadequate. The 4 sensor method gives you an exact knowledge of what's happening in your vault, and we have a true variable speed ECM motor. Now, the way that this control works is from the sensors we're able to determine when the compressor comes on and when the compressor goes off. And what that tells us is the span of the thermostat. We know when the thermostat is telling the compressor to go on. We know when the thermostat is telling the compressor to go off. And based on that knowledge, when the compressor comes on, we run the ECM variable speed motor at full speed. When the compressor goes off, we drop the motor down to minimum speed. And then based on the thermostat span that we learned from the previous cycle, we will begin to ramp up from that minimum speed towards a maximum speed over that thermostat span. Now, what we do is we look at the history of how long the compressor is off, and we'll adjust our ramp and adjust our motor speed to optimize that compressor off time. That's very unique in the market and provides real energy savings. Now, some of the features of this product are it is easy to install. You just have to install sensors, provide 24 volt power to the board, connect a control signal from the motor to the board. The board is pre-programmed from the factory. You don't have to touch any buttons. You don't have to do anything. You just install it, turn the power on, and you can walk away. Now, some of the features are you can adjust the minimum and the maximum speed of your ECM motor. Perhaps you want maximum speed higher. There's a maximum speed button, and you can increase or decrease that maximum speed. You can do the same thing with minimum speed. Maybe you want your minimum speed a little bit higher. You can do that. And you can simply just play with this minimum maximum speeds, and you're not sure you like what you did, you want to go back to the factory default, you just push these 4 buttons and the control will reset back to the factory default. Now, one of the features of the control is it has an override button. The override button will force the motors to run full speed and override the control. This can be used for many reasons. If you think there's an issue or you just want to see what the full speed of the fans looks like, you can hit the override button and it'll do that for you. It also has several LED indicators. It'll let you know what is going on with the control. There's an override LED. It'll let you know you put yourself in that override mode. There's normal operation LED. There's a compressor on LED. And then there's several LEDs that'll let you know when there's issues with the control. One of the issues is the control can detect ice on the evaporator coil. And if we detect ice on the evaporator coil, we'll run this motor at full speed. And there's several LED indicators to let you know if there's a problem with any of these sensors. Perhaps a wire is broken or come loose. The control will let you know that. And it also has an alarm relay that provides dry contacts. So if something goes wrong, if the board detects a problem, it will turn on this alarm relay, which you can use to activate an external light or activate some other kind of alarm system. Now, these 4 temperature sensors give us so much accuracy that we can actually detect when the door of the cooler or freezer is open. And when that door is open, if we happen to be in an off cycle, if the compressor is off, and we're doing our modulation ramp up, and maybe we're kind of high up on the ramp, when we detect that that door opens, we drop this motor back down to minimum speed until that door is closed, which at that point we go back to where we were in the ramp. So it's really a very intelligent control. It's adaptive. It's adapting the algorithm all the time. It's learning the history, and it's maximizing that compressor off time. And the biggest benefit from running this motor, not running these motors full speed 24/7, is during that off cycle, we're equalizing the temperature in this vault by running the motor at minimum speed and doing this ramp up. That is mixing and equalizing the temperature in the space, which extends the product life that's in the space.